For my 3-way banded shoulders, I'm essentially drawing bands across their anchor point. I've got the green bands here, so I want something that's generally pretty light, and that gives me more freedom to move back and forth, as opposed to if I've got really heavy bands and I can barely get them up. And then from there, it's quite simple. I find a resistance arm that works, and my first movement is making a T with my body. So my hands are just out to the sides, nothing fancy, and all I'm trying to do is get to end range here. And so truly the most important thing is the space from about here to here. This is where it gets most difficult, both because the band has more resistance, but also because this is where it just becomes more difficult to squeeze. Our muscles aren't quite as strong back here. If I spend all my time kind of hanging out in front, I'll get something out of it, but not nearly as much as I prioritize that back position. And even if I can get a moment of stillness back behind me. For your second positions, pretty straightforward. Going straight up overhead, you'll see I'm missing some of this space. This is pretty common. This is a very difficult space to operate within. And more than anything, I want to make sure that I'm not getting there just by arching back. I want to keep my abs nice and tight. So better to have my hands out in front a little bit and know that that's space I've got to work towards, as opposed to cheating myself, so to speak, and leaning back. My final position is going to be at the elbow, and I'm just swiveling back and forth. I'm trying to maintain that 90 degrees throughout the motion. Hands are pointed straight forward, so I'm not allowing them to get all kind of any which way, 90 degrees across all sections, and then swiveling. I tend to like to look at my elbows as I do this to make sure that they're staying in line, because it can be very easy for them to start to drop or start to do kind of wonky things. So in general, I'm going out, I'm going up, and I'm going external rotation. These would generally be in counts of 10 each.